A lot of men spend their time confused about women, not because women are complicated, but because men are trained to overthink every little thing. Today's topic is simple. We're talking about the real signs a woman gives when she wants you to make a move on her. Not the cliché signs, not the movie scene moments. The real, everyday signals that men ignore without even realizing it. Here's where things get interesting. Women rarely walk up and say, "I want you." They don't want to risk rejection. They don't want to seem too forward. And most of the time, they want you to take the lead. So instead, they use signals. Some are subtle, some are obvious, and some are so loud that any other guy would make a move instantly. But if you don't know what those signs look like, you'll miss your opportunity every single time. And let's be honest, most men are terrified of misreading a situation. So what happens? You play it safe, you stay polite, and she eventually loses interest because she thinks you're not into her. Meanwhile, you go home wondering what you did wrong. So let's fix that. In this video, we're going to break down the exact things women do when they want you to step forward. How they talk, how they look at you, how their behavior changes around you, and the subtle ways they test to see if you're confident enough to initiate something. This isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about understanding basic human behavior and giving men clarity so they can stop guessing and start recognizing what's right in front of them. By the end of this video, you'll know the difference between a friendly woman and a woman who's actually interested. So sit back, pay attention, and get ready to understand the signs you've been missing for years. 1. She creates opportunities to be close to you. When a woman wants you to make a move, she rarely throws it in your face. Most women aren't going to walk straight up and say, "Take me out," or "Kiss me." Instead, they create opportunities. Moments where you and her are close enough that the next step feels natural. Men often miss these moments because they assume they just happened, when in reality, she planned them. Pay attention to how often she finds reasons to be near you. A woman who's genuinely interested will position herself within your space more than a random coincidence would explain. Maybe she always ends up sitting beside you when there are other seats available. Maybe she lingers after a conversation, standing just a little too close. Women are intentional with proximity. Being close to you allows her to feel your presence, read your energy, and see whether you're confident enough to take the lead. You'll notice she tries to spend time with you in ways that seem casual. She might invite you to hang out in a group, but somehow she sticks beside you the entire time. She might ask for help with something she could easily do on her own. In her mind, she's giving you the window to step up. If she had no interest, she wouldn't place herself in positions where something could happen. Women don't accidentally create private moments with men they don't care about. Another sign is the length of time she stays around you. Women who are uninterested leave quickly. They don't add extra conversation, they don't ask unnecessary questions, and they definitely don't stretch out the interaction. But a woman who wants you to make a move will slow everything down. She'll keep talking even after the main conversation is over. She'll laugh at things that aren't really that funny just to keep the moment going. She'll wait instead of walking away, hoping you notice her effort. Men also overlook one of the strongest indicators. Convenience suddenly disappears. She now has time. She's available. She agrees to meet you without excuses. If a woman makes spending time with you simple, that's a sign. Women who don't want you will always have a reason to leave. Women who do want you make space for you. And here's another thing. When she tries to separate you from the group, even for a few minutes, she's testing your confidence. Maybe she steps aside and waits for you to follow. Maybe she suggests going somewhere quieter to talk. If she brings herself closer to you physically and emotionally, she's practically showing the door is open. A lot of men think women want grand gestures. Most don't. They want a man who can recognize when she's opening the door and walk through it. When she places herself in your space repeatedly, she's not just being friendly, she's giving you an invitation. The question is whether you notice it or let the moment pass. 2. Her body language opens the door. A woman can tell you everything without saying a single word. Body language is one of the biggest giveaways that she wants you to make a move. And the funny thing is, most men see it but assume it means nothing. Women are expressive creatures, especially when they're interested in a man. The key is learning to read the signals she thinks you already understand. Start with eye contact. If a woman looks at you and holds that gaze longer than usual, she's not doing it by accident. Women avoid eye contact with men they aren't interested in because they don't want to encourage attention. But if she looks at you and her eyes go down to your lips, or she looks away and then back again, that's a deliberate sign. She's curious. She's paying attention to you. She's waiting. Then there's the smile. Men underestimate how powerful this is. A woman won't continually smile at a man she feels nothing for. If she lights up when she sees you, if her expression changes just because you entered the room, she's showing you that your presence affects her. The smile is an invitation, a soft welcome that says, "I'm comfortable with you." When she wants you to make a move, her smile lingers. It's warm. It's directed at you, not just polite. Posture is another major sign. A woman who likes you will angle her body toward you, even in a group setting. Her feet, shoulders, and hips will face you because her attention does. Women are instinctively protective of their personal space, so if she lets you into it, that tells you a lot. If she leans in instead of leaning away, if she stays close when she could easily step back, she's trying to get you closer without saying it. Hair and clothing touches are also signals. When she plays with her hair, fixes her shirt, adjusts her necklace, or lightly touches her neck, it's often a subconscious reaction. She's trying to look her best around you. You created a physical response in her body, and she's not doing that for every man she meets. The classic sign men ignore is physical contact. A woman who touches your arm, bumps into you accidentally, or taps you while talking is trying to make the moment more intimate. Women don't casually touch men they don't like. They're careful with their energy and their bodies. If she's comfortable enough to initiate physical contact, she's giving you a direct signal that she trusts you and wants you closer. Even nervousness is a sign. Maybe she fidgets, laughs a little too much, talks fast, or seems shy around you. Women often get nervous around men they're attracted to because they care about how they're being perceived. That nervous energy is her excitement leaking through. Body language is the silent invitation. She won't say, "Come closer," but everything she does is designed to pull you in. The key is to stop assuming it's coincidence. When she opens the door with her body language, she's hoping you step through with confidence. 3. She asks questions to keep the conversation going. When a woman wants you to make a move, one of the clearest signs is that she keeps the conversation alive. Women don't invest time and energy into talking with a man they have zero interest in. If she's asking questions, showing curiosity, and making sure the conversation doesn't die, she's giving you an opening. This isn't just friendly behavior. This is her way of saying, "I like engaging with you." Don't think about a realistic scenario. Imagine you meet a woman at a friend's gathering. You say hello, small talk begins, and after a few minutes, the usual moment arrives where most conversations fade out. If she wasn't interested, she'd politely smile, say "nice meeting you," and move on. But instead, she asks a follow-up question about your job, your hobbies, your weekend plans. Then she laughs, adds another question, and suddenly a simple hello turns into a 20-minute conversation. That's not coincidence. That's effort. Women are naturally selective with their attention. Men they don't care about get short answers, no curiosity, and no enthusiasm. But a woman who wants you to make a move will keep pulling you back into the interaction. She'll ask questions that invite longer answers, like, "What made you choose that career?" Or, "What do you usually do for fun?" She wants to learn about you, not just talk at you. This is how she builds a connection while waiting for you to notice her interest. And here's what many men overlook. She remembers details. If you mentioned you like working out, she'll bring it up the next time you meet. If you said you're thinking of traveling, she'll ask where you decided to go. Women don't store information for men they don't like. When she holds on to the little things you say, it means she's mentally invested. There's another layer to this. Sometimes women ask questions to create moments for deeper conversation. She might ask about your previous relationships, not to judge you, but to understand whether you're emotionally available. She might ask what you look for in a woman, not casually, but with a little smile, waiting to hear if she fits the description. These questions aren't accidental. She's giving you a path to make your intentions clear. Even when she's shy, she finds ways to extend the conversation. Maybe she sends you memes, comments on your posts, or messages you just to say something small like, "You won't believe what happened today." She's not doing that because she's bored. She wants a reason to talk to you, and she hopes you take the lead. Women don't chase men with grand gestures. They communicate interest through consistency and effort. If she's asking questions, staying engaged, and giving you space to keep talking, she's not just being polite. She's signaling attraction and waiting for you to move forward. When a woman values the conversation, values your attention, and keeps the energy flowing, that's a clear sign she sees potential, and she hopes you see it too. 4. She teases you or playfully challenges you. When a woman wants you to make a move, she often finds playful ways to test you. Teasing and friendly challenges are some of the oldest flirting behaviors in the world, and women use them because they create tension, fun tension. It's her way of seeing whether you can handle her personality, keep up with her energy, and most importantly, respond with confidence. The mistake men make is assuming she's just joking around. In reality, she's opening the door. So how do you recognize when her teasing is more than just humor? Pay attention to who she does it with. A woman won't go out of her way to tease a man she's not comfortable with. If she's uninterested, she stays polite, neutral, and distant. But if she likes you, she becomes playful. She may joke about your haircut, mock something you said in a fun way, or challenge you on an opinion just to keep the energy going. She's trying to create a dynamic that feels more personal than casual conversation. Watch how she reacts after teasing you. If she smiles, waits for your comeback, or watches your response with curiosity, that's a strong sign. She wants to see if you can be confident without getting defensive or insecure. Women don't test men they have no attraction to. Teasing is intentional. It's her way of saying, "Show me you're not easily shaken." You'll also notice she does it at unexpected moments. Maybe you text her saying you're busy, and she replies, "Busy doing what? Scrolling memes?" Maybe you show up wearing something new and she says, "Look at you trying to impress people today." She wants to pull a reaction out of you. A woman who enjoys teasing you is trying to build chemistry. Another way to recognize it is how quickly she corrects herself if she thinks she went too far. If she jokingly says something and you pretend to be offended, she might immediately touch your arm, laugh, or explain she was kidding. That's because she cares about what you think. If she didn't like you, she wouldn't care at all. Sometimes her playful challenge has nothing to do with humor. She may dare you to try new things, push you to be bolder, or question whether you'd actually make a move. For example, she might say, "I don't think you'd ever talk to a girl first," or "You seem scared to take risks." She's not attacking you. She's nudging you. She wants to see leadership, confidence, and decisiveness. The biggest clue is that the teasing always leads back to attention. She gives you eye contact, smiles afterward, or stays close. If she teases you and then walks away uninterested, she wasn't flirting. But if she teases you and waits for your energy back, she's inviting you deeper into the moment. Teasing isn't random. It's emotional communication. She's showing interest but also evaluating your response. A woman who challenges you playfully is saying, "I see you, I'm comfortable with you, and I'm giving you an opening." Your job is to recognize it, lean into the moment, and show that you can handle her confidence. 5. She mentions her relationship status on purpose. A woman who wants you to make a move will make sure you know she's available. She won't come out and announce it like a commercial, but she'll find a natural way to drop it into conversation. Men often overlook this because they assume she's just talking. But women are intentional. They know exactly what they're doing when they let you know no one else is in the picture. You'll notice this most when the conversation has nothing to do with dating. Maybe you're talking about movies, and she casually says, "I watched it alone," or "My last boyfriend hated that type of thing." She's not randomly bringing this up. She wants you to know there's no man in her life holding that spot. Women don't reveal personal relationship details to men they're uninterested in. If she's letting you see that part of her life, it's because she hopes you step into it. A realistic example is when you ask about her weekend plans. If she's not interested, she'll keep it short. Just relaxing. hanging with friends, nothing detailed. But if she likes you, she'll go out of her way to add a line like, I don't have a boyfriend to drag me out anywhere, or all my friends are busy with their relationships, so I'm free. That's not accidental. It's an open door. Sometimes she'll be even more subtle. She might tell you how long she's been single, or that she's focusing on meeting the right person. Women know that the moment a man thinks she's taken, he backs off. So when she makes it clear she's single, she's eliminating the obstacle that would stop you from making a move. Another sign is when she brings up past relationships, but with interest in your reaction. She might ask about your dating life too, who you've dated, what you're looking for, whether you're single. She's trying to see if the path is clear for something to happen. If she didn't care, she wouldn't ask. Women don't invest emotional curiosity into men they don't want to get closer to. Even the way she reacts when other women show interest in you tells a story. If she suddenly gets quiet, looks curious, or jokingly says she'll get jealous, that's her way of revealing she wants the position before someone else gets it. She's showing emotional interest without exposing herself completely. The most important thing to pay attention to is timing. Women reveal their single status when they feel a connection. If she barely knows you and tells you she's dating around or seeing someone, that's different. But if she tells you she's single after you've built some chemistry, she's giving you the green light. She wants you to feel confident enough to move forward. So when a woman starts talking about her relationship status, especially when she doesn't have to, it's not random conversation. She's letting you know the door is open, the spot is empty, and she's hoping you're bold enough to step in. 6. She gives you green lights. Through touch, physical touch is one of the strongest indicators of interest, and women don't use it randomly. When a woman is comfortable enough to touch you, lightly, playfully, or repeatedly, it means she feels safe around you and wants to build closeness. A woman who has no interest will keep her distance. She'll avoid unnecessary contact, keep her arms crossed, or step back if you get too close. But a woman who wants you to make a move does the opposite. She closes the space between you. It often starts small. Maybe she touches your arm while laughing, stands close enough for your shoulders to brush, or leans into you when she talks. She might tap your chest to joke with you, fix your collar, adjust your bracelet, or brush lint off your shirt. These aren't random acts. They're her way of testing how you respond and sending a message without saying a word. The key is noticing whether the touch happens once or continues. Anyone can bump into someone accidentally. But when she finds reasons to touch you again and again, she's creating physical comfort. She's showing you that being close to you feels natural. Women don't physically engage with men they find unattractive, threatening, or uninteresting. Touch means she is lowering her guard. Now here's where many men make mistakes. Some freeze up, some ignore it, and some become overly excited and move too fast. What you should do is match her energy calmly and confidently. If she touches your arm while laughing, you can lightly touch her hand or her back as you respond. Not aggressively, not too quickly. Just enough to show you're aware and comfortable with the connection. If she leans into you, don't step away. Let her stay close. If she playfully nudges you, you can playfully nudge back. Women use touch to test your confidence. If you panic, she'll assume you're unsure of yourself. If you act too eager, she'll feel overwhelmed. The right balance is relaxed and controlled. Also, pay attention to how she reacts when you touch her back. If she leans in more, smiles, or continues the interaction without pulling away, that's a sign she enjoys the contact. If she moves closer afterward, like standing nearer, sitting beside you, or looping her arm through yours, she's almost begging for you to make a move. Women don't escalate physical closeness with men they don't want. Another tip: don't make every touch sexual. If you immediately try to grab or pull her in, you skip the entire emotional buildup that makes attraction exciting. Gentle, intentional contact shows you're confident and respectful. Women notice that, so when she touches you, recognize it for what it is: a green light. She's chosen you, she's comfortable with you, and she wants you to respond like a man who understands the moment. In that situation, you don't freeze, you don't overreact, you simply match her energy with steady confidence. That's what makes her feel like she picked the right guy. 7. She shows disappointment when you don't make a move. This is where things get uncomfortable for a lot of men, because it exposes a truth many don't realize. Sometimes she was interested, the door was open, the moment was there, and you didn't act. A woman who wants you to make a move will not chase you forever. She'll give hints, opportunities, and signals, but if you never notice them, she eventually pulls back. And here's the controversial part. Women will still blame you silently for not seeing what was right in front of you. You'll notice her disappointment in subtle ways. Maybe she stops putting in effort. Maybe she gets quiet around you, or she suddenly becomes distant. She might even treat you like a friend, not because that's what she wanted, but because she assumes you don't see her that way. Women don't like feeling rejected, even if you never openly rejected her. From her point of view, she tried, you didn't respond, so she backs away to protect her pride. A real example. Imagine she stayed late to talk to you, laughed at everything you said, stood close, touched your arm, and kept looking into your eyes. She walked away that night thinking, he likes me too. Then the next time you see each other, you act normal, friendly, neutral, no move, no confidence. She'll smile, but it's different this time. She'll stop trying. That shift in her behavior is disappointment. Another sign is when she starts matching your energy. If you barely text back, she stops texting first. If you treat her like everyone else, she stops giving you special attention. Women mirror men when they feel ignored. They won't keep opening doors for someone who never walks through them. And even though she won't say it out loud, she feels it. You might even see her start entertaining another man, someone bolder, someone who noticed the signs. Women don't wait forever. The frustrating part? Many men only realize she was interested once she's gone. Suddenly the signs make sense, but it's too late. The moment passed. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Women expect men to lead. They can show interest, flirt, touch you, ask questions, and create a moment. But at some point, they want you to do something. Not jump into bed, not get aggressive. Just take initiative. Ask her out. Move closer. Hold her hand. Something. If she gets annoyed, sarcastic, or cold when you show zero initiative, that's not moodiness. It's disappointment. She gave you signals. You ignored them. From her perspective, you either didn't want her or weren't confident enough to act. Both turn her off. So when you see a woman who used to show interest suddenly turn distant, it doesn't always mean she lost attraction. Sometimes it means she waited for you to make a move, and you stayed still. Women want a man who recognizes opportunity, not a man who waits for permission. That's the difference between staying stuck in confusion and actually getting what you want. A woman rarely says, "Make a move on me." Instead, she uses behavior, attention, and small signals to show interest. Some signs are subtle, others are bold, but they all point to the same thing. She's giving you permission to lead. When you learn to recognize these moments, dating becomes clearer, less confusing, and far more successful. The difference between missing your chance and making something happen often comes down to awareness and confidence. If she's opening the door, step through it. Women don't want perfection. They want a man who pays attention, responds, and isn't afraid to act when the moment is right.